Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to a bit of Fallout New Vegas. I'll do Wastelands as soon as it loads up. Now, there's nothing wrong with your screen. I have accidentally hit record before recording. I basically just lost about 2 hours of progress in this expansion. Yeah. Because it crashed. Now, you haven't really missed anything worthwhile. We've seen the Higgs village, which is probably the coolest part of this map. It's basically the cooler part of Fallout 3, the simulated village. And that's really it. Other than that, I've just been chasing after stuff, really. Yeah. Here we are at a Securitron place. The faces are weird. Because they're all broken. Yeah, so the game crashed. And it was fighting that thing actually, or one of these things, several of these things. Okay. So what we're doing is we're just upgrading the parts of the sink. I've got a new Chinese stealth suit. I've got a stealth suit. And that's it, really. I was looking forward to talking about my Warhammer Game of the Year. Nah. I'm not. I'm sorry, I don't like this expansion enough to justify doing that all over again. I did it with Operation Anchorage, I think. I'm not doing it again. But to be quite honest, you haven't really missed much. Yeah, I don't like the Fallout New Vegas DLCs enough to justify going through them all over again. So all that recording, all that was for naught. So I'm not overly happy with that. Just another reason that I don't like this expansion very much. So yeah. So basically upgraded the pistol, the energy pistol. I'll just cancel that with that. Yeah. Yes, I'm not a happy bunny. But at least we've got all the components.
Might I be of service, sir?
Got all the upgrades for the sink.
Oh, yeah, baby. Feels good to be online again. Yeah, all circuits online. Ready to receive your seed. Ah, yeah, baby. Just slip it in there. All the way down in that dark, moist earth. Launching interface. Well, hello. Still waiting for that seed. Nah, baby. I'm all about biology. I'm the original, certified, rarefied, testified GS-2000 Biological Research Station. I'm a seed cloning machine. You got seeds? I will clone the shit out of them. It's the miracle of life, baby. You bring me some succulent genetic samples, and I'll work my mojo on them. Clone you up all kinds of plants. Oh, yeah. I can also break them down for you, if you're into the kinky stuff. Bring me any old plant parts, and I'll grind them up into salient green for you. Yeah, you like that, don't you, baby? You know it, baby. I just need some samples, and I got you going. Take a few days, but trust me, it's all kinds of good. Just the miracle of life in sticky, gooey liquid form, baby. Heat that gunk up over a campfire and just watch it congeal into all kinds of plants. Hurry back with that seed now, baby. You ever seen a biological research station this full of seed? No, you haven't.
Oh, God, look at you. You're filthy. I suppose you'll want to clean up then? Oh, it's just so unsanitary. Do you know how many germs are in 1 cubic centimeter of dirt? 70, 100, gajillion. Would you want that getting washed down your gullet day in and day out? I didn't think so. Oh, I'd love to, darling, but the circuits that allow me to dispense water into non-organic containers burned out years ago. You'd have to find a replacement for that module. You can have as much as you like. Just, please don't put your lips on the faucet. It's so unsanitary.
Ah, good day, citizen. Library Processing Unit 232.7 is online and ready to eradicate sedition.
Bad.
Of course, citizen. That's my duty and sole joy in life. All those books from before the war, full of seditious, treasonous, complicated thoughts. Just dump them in and lickety-split. I'll have them pulped, scrubbed clean, and pressed out again clean and white and sedition-free. Blank books are better for the mind, citizen. Real science by real men in lab coats has proved that introducing outside thoughts confuses the brain. Blank books encourage the reader not to question, but to blindly and zealously accept what's put in front of him. Also, I suppose you could use them to keep a journal. Citizen, that sounds dangerously seditious. If my re-indoctrination module was installed, I'd take care of that for you. Sadly, that system was cut for budget concerns, so you'll have to perform your own indoctrination. Now, to begin with, you'll need a cage that can fit over your head and a sack of mole rats. What good is eradicating sedition if the malcontents have ready access to the means to make more, citizen? I can also process pencils and clipboards. Wait a moment. Pencil processors offline? Pencil processors offline? Apologies, citizen. It seems traitors have absconded with that module. If you can find a backup copy of the module, I will happily eradicate your ability to create seditious literature. Stay loyal, citizen.
Right.
Ooh, yeah, dig that sweet music. Damn, it's good to be back online. to. Long time ago. Then old Doc Mole ripped out my music drives and stuck in more acoustical processors. Guess you could say I got the blues, even if I can't play them no more.
Blind Diode Jefferson. Well, what a name. If I had met Kill Team, that would probably be one of my characters.
Yeah,
Jeffersite, maybe.
Wizard kid. Old Doc Mole used me to prototype his sonic weapon designs. Get me a good sample base to work from, and I can whip up a wave that makes Jericho look like a kazoo. Why not? Ain't like I got nothing to prove. Not like that toaster. Now that boy got some issues. Got yourself a sonic emitter, don't you? Thought so. Bring that old thing on in here and bring me some sound samples and I'll make that baby sing. Or scream, if that's what you want. Right on, baby. Just plug it in and I'll mix you up a sweet, sweet sound.
So I think it now makes a sound every time you fire it.
What's the haps?
I don't know.
I am online once again! Tremble, world, before my electric heating coil of doom!
I'm almost afraid to ask what your function is.
You should be afraid! I am the scourge of all small appliances, and the boogeyman that keeps lesser toasters awake at night. Not just murder! I tear them apart and render them down to their base components! Once their guts are spilled, you can do with them what you like! Well, well, what have we got here? Another innocent little toaster. Come here. I won't hurt you. Ha! Gotcha! Oh yes, the sweet smell of spilled electric guts. The sparking diodes. I fucking live for this! Yes! Yes! Soon my work will be complete. Soon the world will burn in nuclear fire. Soon I will... What? It did? Really? Well, fuck! That really puts a damper on the toaster's mood. Oh well. No use crying over spilled Armageddon. Where was I? Oh right. Soon the world will burn in nuclear fire! Again! You want some weapon schematics? I can show you some fucking weapon schematics! You want a superheated Saturnite power fist? I can hook that shit up! You find one, you bring it on back here, and we'll burn this mother down! Like I said, bring me a Saturnite power fist, and I'll hook that shit up for you! Well, since I can't kill you, I guess I have to listen to your inane questions. A toaster is just a death ray with a smaller power supply. As soon as I figure out how to tap into the main reactors, I will burn the world! Have you ever tried to indulge in all-consuming urge to kill when you don't have opposable thumbs? Or hands? Or anything other than a bread slot?
you'd have a lot of pent-up anger too. Buddy, if my heating element were just a little bigger, you'd be on fire right now! On fire! Yes! Flee before my terrible power!
You! Hey, you! Yeah, you! Got any mugs? Oh, sweet, sweet fulfillment! I'll break these down for you just as fast as I can.
Sedition!
That's why I'm over encumbered.
Oh, please, please tell me you brought me some coffee cups. What do you want, mugs, huh? You some kind of sick mug hoarder? Oh, God, give me the coffee cup, please. It's sitting there in your pack, taunting me. Sorry. Sorry. I got a little carried away. It's just all those goddamn dirty dishes out there with no one to clean them. It breaks my heart.
This is probably the best voice actor in the entire game.
Of course I'm obsessed. They made me this way. You think I don't know how crazy I sound? Of course I do. They programmed me to know that too. They made me just to torture me. But you know, it's the neglect that hurts the most. Hey, everybody, let's turn ourselves into robot brains in jars. Do you know how many coffee cups giant robot brains in jars use on a daily basis? Not fucking many! I'm supposed to keep them clean. Oh, God! The thought of all those dirty dishes out there makes me crazy. Most of them are probably beyond saving now. The only thing left is break them down and process them for raw materials.
Just gonna have those. Okay.
You really want to know about me? No one ever asks about Muggy. You made me so happy. Maybe you've seen some of those big, imposing Securitrons with their lovely laser guns and rocket launchers and scary faces. I'm not one of those. Dr. O was always jealous of House Industries, and he thought it would be fucking hilarious to build a tiny neurotic Securitron. Big fucking laugh! So, you got any coffee cups for me now?
And we could have seen those if the game hadn't crashed. And I hadn't lost 2 hours of the progress. Not happy. Not happy at all.
Oh my! Partial functionality restored. That's less than optimal.
It's not often I meet a light switch here with brains and beauty. I think I'm going to like it here.
Oh, well, that's very sweet of you. Maybe one of these nights we can discuss theorems?
Why wait? I can talk about theorems right now.
Slow down there, Tiger. We've got all the time in the world. No need to rush into things. Why don't you take some time to brush up on your knowledge so we can keep things stimulating?
What function do you serve?
Dr. Mobius and I were deeply involved in research on the ability of light levels to enhance human cognition. We observed a fascinating phenomenon. Certain spectra of visible light actually increased cognitive function and reasoning ability. Of course, Dr. Mobius's brain is so big already, we had a hard time measuring it. As much as I'd love to, I'm afraid not. The data from that study has gone missing. You'll have to find a backup if you want to use the smart lights. Certainly. I'm looking forward to it. was a nice little cat nap. How long was I out?
This which turns me on. I must be dreaming.
Oh, you. I bet you say that to all the light switches. Now I know you're flirting with me, and it's working. Why don't you take this to remember me by?
Meeting people.
Oh, her. Trust me, sweetie, you're better off not thinking about that frigid little ice queen. That bitch. She thinks she's so much better than everybody just because her processors are bigger. Ooh, she makes me so mad. Sure thing, sweetie. I was Dr. Mobius's personal assistant. We were studying, oh shoot, what was it? Oh yeah, lightning. No, wait, lighting. That's right, how lighting affects human interaction. Oh, it was super exciting. It turns out that some pretty colored lights can make you way better at talking to people. Oh, I'd love to, sweetie, but I don't have the programming. All the data from the experiments was lost. You'd have to go out into that nasty old crater and find the backup copy. Bye now.
What? Yeah, why not? Just in case we do use one. Let's go to the think tank. Yeah. No. We're not doing that. I've had enough. I really have had enough of this expansion.
Did you retrieve the technologies yet? We need them, as I have indicated. Why, yes. We are filled with the knowledge you speak of. If you wish to know more, simply ask the others. They can help you. I am Dr. Klein, Chief Head Researcher of Logistical Operations and Ideology here at Big Mountain. I am surprised you have not heard of me. I am first in my field, first chair, as it were, back in the days of chairs. Dr. Mobius was not the horrifying creature you saw upon the screen, twisted by science. He was once one of us, a friend. He researched in directions contrary to the think tank. Brains, 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 always about the brains. So we exiled him. He says he left of his own volition, but that was to save him the embarrassment. Now he sends his intelligence-consuming scorpions from the Forbidden Zone to plunder the secrets of Big Mountain. He is a menace. I'm not certain. Perhaps it only affects machines. If so, you may be immune. If it is chems, then we have nothing to fear. Since we are afraid, it must not be chems, and you need not fear, which means you can test it. Logical. What? You did? Your survival, let alone success, barely registered in my projections. Now, all I need to do is check my transmission databank. Mobius is always filling it up with his psychotic calls. Oh yes, there's the schematics, just like you said. How truthful. Yes. 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 No. I mean, yes. You just need to analyze these technologies for a moment. They are extremely advanced, you know? I know how these technologies work. Of course I know. If you remember, we described them in clearly abstract, contradictory statements before. Why would we do that if we weren't certain on how to use them? Yes, so let me... a bit, huh? I'll figure it out. Yes, that's what I believe I said. I've got it. The cardiac regulator in the suit, the antenna for brain waves, and the sonic frequency for the vertebral nerves. I'm thinking. This is all very complicated. Let me check something. Of course, I have it. The override sequence to open the Forbidden Zone door is hidden in the schematic. Well, not hidden. It's actually right there, behind the programming equivalent of coffee stain. It's embedded in what seems to be recursive code. It's badly commented there and there. Oh, and null pointers very sloppy, Mobius. You see, using the antenna to boost the emitter's sonic frequency, and the stealth suit to bypass the Forbidden Zone lock, yes, that could work. Was that my plan? It must have been. Sometimes I truly surprise myself. The door is open, and now Mobius will get his. Heal you? What, put you back together like some giant, hard-boiled, yum-yum deviled egg? I mean, technically, these items could all be used to put you back together once you had your brain. But for now, they can be used in the name of aggression. The door should be unsealed. Now, instead of being subjected to threats, we can now send an equally threatening message to Mobius. And that message is science. Deliver this message, and Big Mountain shall be freed from Mobius's reign of terror. You can go now. That's your cue.
Okay. I could well talk to the others. And just see what they're up to. Yes, these are very similar to the living quarters of the Higgs village that we won't be going back to.
I don't understand how you... Breaking news! Talking lobotomite arrives in think tank. Its purpose, unknown. Undefinable. Its presence here, impossible. Oh, really? Now the lobotomite is a master of the dictionary arts. What, do you have a doctorate in verbology? No? I do. And... Stop the presses. Just in from my eye monitors. Is that Vault-Tec on your arm? It is. What's your agenda bringing that in here? Oh, really? You have their tech on your arm. How dare you bring Vault-Tec in here? What are you showing off? How great Robert House and his big company are?
Oh, we can make Securitrons better than any robot those geniuses at Big Mountain can make, and they'll last 1,000 years.
You're lucky I don't have hands to tear that dip boy off your arm, or feet to stomp on its stupid metal guts. Ugh. Damn Robco. Worry about House? Why would I do this? Hope he died alone in a dingy room, streaming his last remaining bodily fluids into jars. And him and his dirty girl bots. Don't even get me started on those filthy biological catcher's mitts. Fine. Ask. Yeah, I do. It wasn't always, oh. I just took that one by default because sometimes it's easier to accept a mistake as long as the purpose works. I don't want to get into it. It's a sore topic with me. Makes my gel ripple. Great. Psychology. Clearly the worst of the sciences, right after colostodiuretics. Okay, so my name is an O. Never was. It was circular, a single character, digit, but not O. But even with enhanced sensors, no one here could get it right. Always kept seeing the letter, not the number. Yes, thank you. 0. I am 0. How hard is that? A narrow, thin 0. 0's my name. I'm proud of it, all right? It doesn't get the recognition it deserves. Truth be told, my emotional attachment to it doesn't even register compared to just having people recognize the difference. It's just that they're both sort of round and hollow, so when they monitor scan them, they assume that, oh, it's O. Vivisect me, please. What? Did I shoot myself with a brainial beam or something? That's brilliant. I mean, I would have come to the same conclusion. Eventually. Oh, who am I deceiving? I never would have figured that out. I can't figure anything out. I'm useless.
Yeah, that's how I write O's. You draw a 0, and then you put a line through it to differentiate it from a 0.
Exactly. At least the old name was indisputable. O is more like surprise. Oh, look what I stepped in.
Mathrath. I do like that Mathrath has now had like 3 lines of dialogue. And it's not even like a dialogue perk. Well, there's power in 0. It reduces anything multiplied against it to 0.
Well, of course it does. That's the most lethal of mathematics. That's pretty cool, actually. Destroyer of numbers. I already wreck every robot I study. Why not basic arithmetic? I like your solution. With that kind of slash in the middle, I can set myself apart. If I wanted to. The make a 0 in all the think tank. They won't be able to escape it. That diagonal slash right down the middle. Thanks. Talking to you, it really helped unclog some frustration. Talking. What a primitive form of thought kicking. You know, hearing my name said like that, it really de-reses my screens. As for discoveries, well, of course. Look at this. Just, built it. Amazing, isn't it? You know what? I'm not even gonna pretend. I broke one of the monitors, and those innards start falling out everywhere. If you could just hold on to that for me until, well, forever, that would be welcome. I'd have a few left. Let me check. Yeah, there were a few under the monitors here. Here you go. Keeps the place tidy. Until our next scheduled audio transmission and reception, then.
I know someone who talks like that. That's really fucking annoying. I like the whole thing of, like, you know, helping them out. And all that stuff was very clever. But, you know, I can do without it, you know. That's right. You are the one I really want to talk to. Partly because I can skip your dialogue. Yep. Oh, the header profile. Okay, interesting. Like the bottom one gives you a bit of karma. The better. Something sun chocolates into the why Sonic a bit. There we go. Same with. Let's get to know the rest of the crew if we can.
Have you done all we asked? If not, we will not hesitate to ask again.
Alright. Quite possibly my favourites. Although the others are good.
The lobotomite animal before me. What other terrifying terrors will plague us in our quest for knowledge?
Never mind.
Communist animals, perhaps? Be warned. Attempt to propaganda me. I will shriek as a frightened babe, calling loyal cyber dogs to my aid. Do you comprehend, commie animal? Just as I feared. Questions, quizzes, just as there were in American high school. And if there are no answers, how will the think tank graduate? So, you put down Gabe. Thank you. A scamp, but really, his highly augmented combat programming could have proved meddlesome. In any event, thank you for putting him down. One less test subject to catalog and sort. Clearly a failure of Doggy's cybo-engineering. The lobotomite. Before you is the brain of Dr. Boros, head of animology, beastology, and DNA scrambling technology here at Big Mountain. I lay the bones and hearts of animals bare beneath my searing gaze, especially the dogs. I did so love dogs once. Especially Gabe, that rascal. But there are many animals to shape. Industrious cazadors, the happy-go-lucky night stalkers. They are my living, breathing DNA test tubes.
We also found a legendary bloatfly and killed it.
Indeed. Docile, curious, safe, sterile. They are contained here at Big Mountain to preserve DNA and for observation. No, such creatures are found only here, for research purposes. They would no more be capable of escape than breeding.
Well, that is true.
I cannot expect a lobotomite to understand the careful surgical castrating procedures used in their creation. Perhaps a demonstration of my castrating power would settle your doubts. Because Big Mountain safety measures are far more sophisticated than their primitive animal instincts. We are their lords and masters. Oh, that's too bad. Perhaps we can perform a sterility castration some other time then. Nonsense! That is what you speak. Nonsense from beyond. I was at the top of my high school class in American high school. I knew facts. I knew figures. I knew data. We would know if our research was flawed. It is not. We never contradict ourselves, so do not even try. To preserve Coyote. No, wait. The snake DNA was important because the snakes with the rattles were dying out and... Or maybe it was a vet from Callus in X8. He had some Mount Lion, Eagle, Condor idea. Bet you can't breed this, he said. Showed him. Then it spliced itself into a coyote, snake thing, which was eventually successful. Kept that DNA where it belonged. Spliced. Why are we even debating this? What you ask is of no importance. Mobius besieges us. There are more important things to worry about than data and facts. There is logic and purpose in it. If these technologies are needed to pierce the Forbidden Zone, so be it. Science is powerful, and in the right hands, our hands, if we had hands, we would be nigh unstoppable. The malignant tumor that is Mobius plagues us all. His hunger for power, insatiable. From his lair in the Forbidden Zone, his terrifying Robo-Scorpion army clicks and whirs across the crater of Big Mountain, ever seeking, ever stinging. He must be stopped, or all of Big Mountain shall be destroyed. The rate of it keeps.
Okay, so this might actually be part of the quest. I'm sorry for skipping through that.
It makes perfect sense. Who are you to question the mighty radar fence? Ever since my anxiety-filled days of powerlessness and being bullied in American high school, I have dreamed of such security.
I mean, that sigh just says it all, really. That's
that and giant cybernetic dogs.
all I really think to this is.
And kill anyone who wasn't my friend, like Richie Marcus and Betsy Bright.
It's just going on forever now.
I hope you and Richie are happy smoking in your radioactive coffins. I'm glad you never came to my birthday party.
It's like, I don't mind dialogue in games, I don't mind, you know, all this sort of stuff. It's like a nice bit of laugh and a joke, but it's all in one go. And it's like, it doesn't help, and okay, I guess it's not entirely the game's fault. You know, that it crashed when it did and all the rest of it, and, you know, they can't have known that I was going to be filming. But still, this expansion goes on for quite a while. I say quite a while, you know, a good 4 or 5 hours if you wanted to. And, like, it's filled with a lot of this. Massive dump state. I don't mind dialogue. I really don't. Like, that's the ending I'm going to be trying to achieve in this game. But Jesus wept. And it's just like, if you don't find it funny, it doesn't work. And I don't really care to know about the being empty or anything like that. There's no mystery. There's not really much I actually care about here. And I have explored this place quite thoroughly. And unlike the Sierra Madre, where it's like there's a mystery and you're trying to unravel it, here it's like there's very little actual useful information that you can get out of it that contributes to the wider Fallout universe. It's all very localized. To say that this place is kind of meant to be like the epicenter of all intellectual pursuits. And yeah, it's just like, nah. I've looked, I've read the audio files, I read them out loud, and no.
No! Beyond is death, despite mounting evidence to the contrary. No matter where these strange humans wander in from with their ideas and new brains, there is nothing beyond Big Mountain. Enough! Stop filling my precious brain cell units with irrelevant data. You sound like the other visitors, making wild claims of a world beyond, where there is a war beyond war. It is unproven and unthinkable. Bother the other doctors with your crackpot theories. I have no time. None of us do.
Especially when he talks very slowly. Alright then. I guess I'll do it. Guess I'm not painting any minis tonight. Because I was hoping to do this nice and quickly. But alas.
You are an unusual specimen to so boldly walk into the mighty expanse of the think tank, fearless and proud as a teddy bear. Between the extraction of their higher reasoning abilities and urination-inducing fear, most lobotomites dare not approach us, let alone speak to us. Yet you have no such fear. Facing me, epidermis flushed with blood, plasma running molten beneath, your face contorting with muscular expression. Will you indulge me? Say a few words. Face towards the monitors, please, so that I might record it for further examination.
Quick structure to the laser paladin.
Yes, go on. Seeing your lips and mouth forming the words, both revolting and somehow... How does it feel to have the flesh roll around in your mouth like that? To control each muscle and the tongue, like having a fish or extremely dexterous slug lolling and flopping in one's mouthal cavity.
It reminds me of, in fact, I think this is basically just one big reference to the short story, They're Made of Meat. It's like two aliens. And it's like, they're made of meat. What? They're made of meat? Looks like humans. It's like just going on about like these advanced life form, talking about us like in the way that Dr. Tyler is. And Tyler is interesting. I like, I like Tyler's character. Very interesting. The Higgs Village house as well was kind of revealing. It seems to me you have more biological needs than your counterparts. So I like Darla, so I'm going to talk to her. My complaints aren't with her, or with Dr. Zero even. Boris was awful to talk to. Dr. 8 was pretty hard to talk to, but the humour is in the responses you give rather than his own dialogue, which I can sort of get by, as long as you skip it. Klein's stuff,
What? Nonsense.
Those are eyelids deep. It's just...
What? What are you doing? Stop it. Why? Why are you making me partake in this filthy formography? Enough. I am already intrigued. You have sufficiently percolated me.
Percolated.
I don't know what it is about the biology of lobotomites. It infects my thoughts. All that skin and muscle and tissue. Perhaps there is value in what you say. I did so enjoy breathing once, long ago. Would you? I feel so ashamed, but yet so intrigued. You'll need to give me a rest in between visits, or else my jaw might run over. If you're ready, let me radar scan you. Slowly. Woo. Woo. Purple, purple, woo. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Purple. Ba-ba, bloop. Ba-ba, bloop. Ba-ba, bloop. Whew. Last little bit there. Whew. Thank you, lobotomite. Please, you must come back for further study when I've had a rest. I'm a little sensitive right now.
I also have a drained small energy cell. Well, I have a real teddy bear if you want to.
Whatever for. No, I like teddy bears. Teddy bears come in many sizes. Your size is what intrigues me the most. Some say that teddy bears can't be living, breathing things. They are wrong. They are large biological forms. Breathing, heaving, snarling, coughing. Lobotomites are my teddy bears. Oh, yes. Very well. If you're certain of your conclusions, my little teddy bear.
Okay. Let's find a piece of Gabe. We will get this expansion done soon. To be honest, you really haven't missed much. The only thing you really missed is the Higgs village, and even then. Well, I would go there. Well, this isn't very effective, is it? I do have an upgraded cyber dog gun. Which is also not very effective. Yeah, so you've not really missed a whole lot. Oh yes, in my frustration, I forgot to say Happy New Year to you all. I have managed to get in touch with that, with the people I was looking for, so thank you ever so much for doing that. That's all good. So yeah, it's good, looking forward to it. Game of the Year. Objectively, it's Baldur's Gate 3. There has been no game that has been produced this year that has the same production qualities. And caliber of development. But subjectively, I think Heaven of Dreams, which is like if Spyro was done by Rare on the Nintendo 64. This is the Higgs Village. Yes. There we go. So yeah. But yeah, it's pretty good. You could have convinced me it was a game from 1996 quite easily. Yeah, I had fun with it. I will not do a let's play of it though. It's a good game, but I do not have the intellectual capacity to do that without a guide. So yeah. No. It was good. What else have I played? Clive and Wrench is another good game that came out this year. Platform game. Had its problems, but I've been following it for years, and to be honest, it's not as bad as all the reviews are giving it. The mixed reception it has on Steam is not, I think, fairly representative of the actual quality of the game. It does have technical missteps, but otherwise, it's actually competently put together. The developer clearly knows what they're doing, especially in terms of the pop culture references. Nearly done. I'm currently installing Rogue Trader. Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. See how that goes.
The lobotomite.
Yes.
What? Why, yes, it is. I used to leave it outside his doghouse, chock full of chems, before the cybernetic modifications, of course. And no matter how chemmed the food, he would always eat it, and his tail would wag, even while you know, I'm having the most perplexing feeling squiggling through my biogel. I can't quite pin it down.
It seems to me belong to a friend of yours.
Why, yes, Gabe. No matter how awful my day had been, he was always waiting there. How odd. My gel is decoagulating. And when I would talk to him about Betsy, and how Marcus would beat on me and call me Smarty's sissy pants, he'd just sit there, head on my knee, and... For some reason, its similarity to the crater shape of Big Mountain is starting to fill up all available cognitive spaces. That, combined with my own overwhelming feeling of having done something terrible, the two were hitting me with unexpected force. As odd as it is, I believe that is the conclusion. And I wonder why it didn't hit me before, until I saw that memory in your hands. This sensation is unpleasant. I don't care for it. I don't care for this place either. And I feel as if we've forgotten something. Still, it is no matter. Crush the feeling down. Crush it down. Push it into the loop. Yes. Forgotten. Almost. Yes? I do not need to remember anymore. Not today.
That's all done. Let's finish this. Please God, let's finish this. Actually, that was to the other door, isn't it? Yeah, I'm, it's just like, the expansion was already something of a slog, and now it's like, even worse. I think it's like, I get why people, don't get me wrong, I get why people like it.
Eureka! Tail rocking on. Combat experiment in progress. Please put on your goggles and take your rad X now. Ah, that giant robot is alive! There, victim! You can't avoid the deadly laser sting of Dr. Mobius!
Yeah. So it's not a bad expansion, I see why people like it, but there's just parts of it I personally, it's not to my taste. I think that's the nicest way I can put it, really. But well, yeah. Another level. I've really been complaining at leveling up, but still. Emergency shutdown terminal. Let's see if this does anything else. Oh, okay. Now, of course, yeah, because it's a very hard one, so we have to do it properly. Hey, dear. Oh, you know what, sort of. Yeah, I had enough. It's a school night tomorrow. Back to work, so I have to. Have to be up and early. I have to be up early tomorrow. It's why I'm really regretful that like everything crashed and I'm just not in the mood to really do much more. I mean, I haven't lost any progress. Just that I've just lost all the filming. You know, this game crashed, and when that crashed, OBS crashed. They seem to be bothered by my presence. Stop.
Oh, hello there. You are there, aren't you? Forgive my confusion. So hard to tell these days. You seem familiar somehow. I'm guessing, you're here for your brain, perhaps? It's just up there. Such a nice brain, young, very bright. Little hard to see you. Can you walk into my left, right FOV cone? Ah, that's it. You're coming into focus nicely. Depth perception is a problem with this old monitor of mine. Went black a while ago. That's old age for you. Should look at getting the visual nerves reattached. It's just that the right eye would see the wrong things. The flying tortoises were the worst. Would you care for a mentat? I love mentats. Delicious and smarty. I have all sorts of amazingly science-orific thoughts and ideas when those chalky tablets are zipping through my biogel. I forget them all not long after, though, especially with the data constipating my memory core. Afraid binary streams might shoot out my chassis. Had to start using the dome floor and walls here to inscribe equations, although I've somewhat lost track of where they start and end. Really? That implies preconceived notions, theories, and a hypothesis about this meeting? Please extrapolate. What was I supposed to be like? After all, it might be worth a cognitive realignment if your theoretical Mobius is better than I. Oh, a variety of reasons. You're something of a homily. Anomaly? You're really quite special, and not in the cranially challenged way. You see, you are the most successful brain extraction experiment ever performed here at Big Mountain. A victim of your own success, as it were. If you were to go back with what your brain knows about the procedure, well, your brain could be popped back in and you could walk right out of here. Can't have brains moving around of their own volition. I'm not sure, except that I'm sure there's a very good reason for it. I have very good reasons for almost everything I do. Even if I forget them occasionally. Although I feel this one is especially important. Oh well.
You remember the fight with the Master in Fallout 1?
Now, that seems to be rather hormonal of you. Flight or fight response, you know. Hard to cut that out completely. Your brain is here, safe with me. We chat over mentats. Do you? You seem fine without it. And does it even want to go back with you? Maybe you should ask it. It's quite independent, has all manner of opinions. Tell you what, I'll leave it up to your brain. If it wants to go, then fine. If not, well, you should respect its wishes. Indeed. The goodbye part of our little chat, then. Goodbye. Please mind the equations on the floor.
let's see if this expansion does.
Well, well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. And where have we been, Crawling through pits of radioactive muck again? Ah, well, as to that, you'd be surprised how hard a feminine-sounding voice modulator is to find in the Forbidden Zone. It's not as though brain-sustaining life support tanks grow on trees. I had to take what I could get. Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie?
This is a dick.
Yes, well, believe me, the opposite is equally true. Good Lord, have you bathed at all since they pulled me out of you?
Yes, because running around a crater full of bizarre sounds.
Well, I see sarcasm hasn't eluded you. Fine, perhaps now isn't the best time, but it's the principle of the thing. Well, that's a fine how do you do. Me, quote, dick, unquote, as if I'm the one responsible for the way you carry on gadding about the wastes. I'm not the one that makes us clamber around Technus-infested ancient vaults or go charging off to New Vegas on missions of ill-conceived revenge. And have we forgotten who got us shot in the head and buried in a shallow grave? Do you think I enjoyed that little moment? Well, maybe next time you hear me telling you that charging a nightkin with a penknife is a bad idea, you'll listen. I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing. Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and biological functions. Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you. Overrated biological feedback. Believe me, you only feel that way because you've got all that meat. Oozing hormones. I suppose you're right. That does call certain assumptions into question, doesn't it? Indeed. Quite the conundrum. How do you suppose we resolve it? I suppose there might be some advantage to that, yes. There's a chance that the reintegration would create some improved synergy between us. Well, I suppose you've convinced me well enough. I'll rejoin your body if that's your final decision. Unfortunately, before we get to that stage of the proceedings, we have a problem. Even if I could settle myself back in your skull and reconnect all those pesky nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share. And you believe them? Really? I know you were recently deprived of my fabulous advice, but... Really? Once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the radar fence and the whole Mojave will be their playground. And that is assuming, of course, that one of them doesn't take a fancy to our body and decide to slip his own brain into it instead. Well, I suppose I do miss those endorphin rushes when we save the day. All right, what's the plan? Right. Look out, think tank. This brain is coming out of its jar. I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the think tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back in no problem. Right then, off we go. Klein will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't work on a mind and body reunited.
So, I'm not gonna lie, that was a fun little twist. But, I'm just tired. That's all I can say. It's a fun expansion, it's good, it's all put together. Read that if you like. Right, if you'd like to excuse me 1 second, I'm just going to nip away and stretch my legs, because I've been sat here for far too long. Without moving. Won't belong. Oh, and my green, I thought my green screen had stopped working. It's only temporarily, it's only when I move forward. It does fail me sometimes. Right, snip it. And I am back. Let's get this done and over with. Yeah, so it is a good expansion. It's just like I'm just tired of it. I've never really got on with it. It's like the twist of the brain. It's cool. It's clever. But
You require some additional services?
Drinking radiation removed. Oh, interesting. Okay.
You require some additional...
Cardiac arrest perk. Your heart is back in your body, but some advanced technologies remains. You are less resistant to poison robots. As a healing items are twice as effective. That's good. So, okay.
You require some additional...
Reinforced spine. Perk. Your spine is back in your body. Advanced some of us that remain. The torso can be tripled again. Your strength and doses are down to 1.
Sir, looking exceptionally sharp today, if sir will permit the compliment.
The lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Has Dr. Mobius been denominated into scrap metal and voice module parts, as we hoped? I recommend watching your tone with me, lobotomite. Now, your brain. Hand it over, or we'll extract it again. And what could we possibly have to speak about? You have the brain, we have the technology. All you must do is surrender. With it, we can finally leave this place. I cannot tell you how boring this place gets, chopping up the landscape and everything in it. And we have so many questions to ask your brain first. About this Mojave place. A fertile testing ground for our experiments.
You think I will love it, right? No. My house schools is a schoolhouse of the brain of Mobius.
That is the most insane thing I've ever heard. There's no way Mobius would condescend to step inside you. Besides, there's no way such a thing could be accomplished. It's impossible.
Oh my god, this, okay, this, you know, this is how to make up for it. Countless brain extraction surgeries exist, but only one implantation one, from Mobius. Nothing is impossible for science. Mason's lasers, atoms, brainwaves, all at my command.
You speak the truth. And the decibel variation in your voice, it is Mobius. How dare you breach the think tank? And what do you want here?
Here, I let you offer the deal. Stay here, stay put and heal, I'll let you live.
That's no deal at all. There's a whole world beyond the crater, filled with ideas and possibilities. We could have escaped, seen it all for ourselves, tested it, prodded at it, made it squirm.
I'll permit you to do this for me.
Partner with you? My foe? My rival? My foremost critic? I have a strange sensation that I would like that. How odd. Very well, partner. The think tank is at your service as long as you do not destroy us.
Well.
The teddy bear lobotomite returned.
That was it, really. Believe me, in the 2 hours that you missed between this and that.
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the brightest minds of the 23rd century. The courier watched over the Big Empty for years to come, caring for it and keeping its discoveries safe until they were needed to help others. Which had always been Big Mountain's purpose. Past the laboratories and science, it had always been intended as a place to build the future of all mankind.
The courier had scoured much of the Big Empty, although secrets still remained in the crater's depths. Perhaps that was for the best, however. Curiosity, while sometimes rewarded for its efforts, often proves to be equally dangerous.
Dr. Mobius continued his research undisturbed in the Forbidden Zone. As much as he had attempted to create better scorpions, he tried the same with humanity, with considerably less success. These failures didn't bother him overmuch. Once the rush of mentats wore off, he forgot he had failed in any event. After all, the bright young mind who had come to visit him in the Forbidden Zone had already exceeded his expectations.
The sink atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other. Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner. The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
The Biological Research Station, obsessed with seeding everything in sight, requested a transfer to the X-22 Botanical Garden, so that it might, in its own words, sensually fertilize the garden's smooth contours. The garden sent back a polite refusal, saying it had prior commitments with a vault it had helped infect before the war.
The book chute continued to devour all seditious materials until it nearly choked on a paperclip. It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip, and the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt. Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the showboat. One of them eventually transferred to the Lightwave Dynamics plant, and began a long, unrequited affair with one of the holograms.
The sink continued to ruthlessly scrub any particulate matter that came near it. Eventually, it gained access to the magnetohydraulics plant and nearly flooded all the big empty in an attempt to scrub the crater clean.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. After one of its more psychotic episodes, however, the other sink personalities decided enough was enough and dumped the toaster in a bathtub. Sparking and hissing, the toaster swore its enemies would rue the day when they had bread and no way to toast it.
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village. It might have been the end for poor Muggy. Except he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place. Muggy left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Blind old Jefferson, with sounds the courier brought him, created a symphonic counter-frequency that saved Big Mountain from sonic invasion in 2910. If you didn't hear about it, good. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches. Although he forgot their names much too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
Autodoc, always gentle and methodical, kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear. The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre were bored out of their skulls in that toxic dead city. In time, the Autodoc found a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
As the courier ran through the X-8 facility multiple times, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. Rather than performing a superficial observation, they realized the subject barely knew what communism was, or even what a high school was. This confused them for a time, until the facility finally realized that its research had succeeded. So it let its cyber dogs out into the wastes to help protect small communities from physical aggression rather than communist propaganda.
The infiltration program in X-13 felt spent, having repeatedly upgraded the stealth suit until it could upgrade it no more. It felt worn, fulfilled, and a bit sluggish. It realized not long after, the stealth suit had left it, without so much as a note on the nightstand. So the infiltration program sent out robo-brains into the wastes, looking for its wayward technology. It eventually found Repcon HQ, and set up a new research center, testing and murdering fiends who kept breaking into the facility.
The courier, organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be. After all, brains can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
Dr. Klein and the think tank remained alive, unaware of the world outside. They looped through their daily routine, none the wiser about the world beyond. Although perhaps wiser was the wrong word. The world outside belonged to the courier, and if anyone would shape it, Well, the courier had already called dibs.
There is an expression in the Wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, for what it is.
They stare into the what was, eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Science is a long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries to come.
In the times following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, however, old world blues took on a new meaning.
Where once it was viewed as a form of sadness, nostalgia, it became an expression describing the potential for the future.
It can be easy to see science as evil, technology unchecked as the source of all ills, all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, science became a beacon for the future. There was old world blues, and new world hope. And hope ruled the day at Big Mountain.
We could say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves. Now armed with the transportal Ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one. The sink sat vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust. Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone.
Thank you for visiting New Vegas.
Explain. I've been muted all this time, I think. So, that's my reaction to all that. Yeah. Everything's just gone wrong with this video, so... Bye.